Hello, everybody. So this is your girl, Damali, right here at NYCU.FM and World One Developments News you can use with my co-host.
Hey, Mr. Charles Hopper, we are here in Oklahoma City. It is Black History Day at the Capitol, y'all.
Yes, we are so excited. We have been here. We have heard some phenomenal speeches. We got to hear our very own mayor, Mayor Monroe Nichols. He gave the keynote address, and we got to hear some of your speech. So this wonderful lady and friend of ours
Right.
is State Representative Ajay Pittman. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here. Like she said, I'm State Representative AJ Pittman. I represent House District 99 in downtown Oklahoma City. Northeast Oklahoma City, which is the capital, sits in my district. So I'm so excited to have friends and family in the district celebrating Black History Day at the Capitol today.
So let me ask you this. So this is you guys' third annual, right?
Yes. Yes.
So how has it been doing this event every year for the last 3 years?
It's been good. It gets people in the Capitol. We oftentimes see this building and we're disconnected from it.
Yes.
People don't understand that this is their building. It's open 24/7, 365. You
Right.
can come take a tour any day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. They have guided tours every 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And so
Wow.
people don't realize that this is their home.
Mhm.
I grew up here. My mom was a Senate staffer when I was 4 years old, and then she went
Wow.
on to be an elected official. And so this is like my second home. I grew up here, and so I feel very comfortable in the building. But making sure our babies get to see us in this
Yes.
building,
Right.
making sure people get to come celebrate the history. We didn't just start Black History 3 years ago.
Mhm.
We are thankful for Representative Lowe for what he's done to shine a
Yes.
light to it.
Yes.
But the Black Caucus really founded its foundation in 1980.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so they have been having Black history throughout the years. They were Black history.
Yes.
And so when we talk about what legacy they have left, when you talk about Maxine Horner,
Yes.
Vicky Miles LaGrange, E. Melvin Porter, Green Eye Curran,
Mhm.
who was an elected official before Oklahoma was even a state.
Yes.
That is Black history. And we've had programs. They used to wear African garments in the building
Yes.
and make sure they took a group photo for Black history. And so for me, it's about showing the people that legacy, showing people the portraits in the building of the bust of Claire Luber.
Yes.
We
Yes.
have so much history in this building that our people need to see. And that's the biggest thing. But also the advocacy aspect
Right.
of
Right.
it.
Right. Yeah.
That was one of the things that I mentioned in my speech. Even if you don't live in a district of a person that looks like me, if your legislator is not Black, you need to go to that office. You need to sign in to that member.
Mhm.
Everybody doesn't live in a Black district.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And so it's like, go let those people know that you're watching them, that you're holding them accountable, and that you're here looking, you're listening,
Right.
and you're making sure that they are voting in ways that support who you are as a person,
Right.
your culture,
Yeah.
but also the values that you hold and the
Yeah.
values that we keep near and dear to our hearts in this state.
And let me ask you this. A lot of time when people see you, especially kids, you are like the picture of the epitome of success.
Mm.
But to just make it real for other people, that roadmap to success,
Yeah.
can you just say a little bit about
Mm.
maybe the elementary school, the high school, or maybe college that you went to that prepared you to be in this position today?
So I have a very unique story. A lot of times people don't know, they look at all the oohs and the ahs,
Right.
but they don't
Right.
understand the wizard behind
There
the
you go.
eyes,
There you
Yes.
right?
go.
Yes.
They don't understand all the moving parts. And so I grew up in Oklahoma City. My mom was a classroom teacher before she worked at the Capitol. But I had a rich history. I mean, I started working on campaigns from the time that I was a little girl. I remember putting labels on envelopes for Opio Torre.
Mhm.
And then there's a picture of me that used to be in the newspaper, the Ebony Tribune.
Mhm.
That newspaper is no longer around, but it used to be our old Black newspaper here in
Right.
Oklahoma City, where I was hugging Angela Munson's leg.
Mhm.
And they
Wow.
took a picture of it. And so I've kind of been, we call it in the shadows of history. history
Mhm.
for a long time, and I got to see. And so, as much as school is an amazing part of it, I ran at 24 as a junior in college.
Oh,
I did
wow.
Yes.
not, you know,
Yeah.
I did not finish my degree to do this because it wasn't any political science classroom that could have given me the experience of
Exactly.
being here and watching it firsthand. And my mom going over statutes with me and running around the building as a little girl and other elected officials saying, "Hey, we're in budget meeting, come sit with us."
Mhm.
I got to see firsthand what this looked like. I got to know the lobbyists
Mhm.
before I got here. I knew
Right.
the committee structure before I arrived. And there's something about that hands on training.
Mhm.
And so it's one thing to get it from a theory,
Mhm.
it's another thing to have a mentor and have someone that can walk behind alongside you
Right.
during this journey. And so I'm so grateful for the legacy that I have, being the first daughter to have ever served in her mom's seat in the state of Oklahoma,
Yeah.
History.
because my mom gets to walk beside me. Oftentimes we wait until, and I mean this with respect, we wait until we're on our deathbed
Yeah.
to pass
No,
the
that's true.
torch of
That's true.
leadership
Right.
to the young people when I can't be here for forever. So I got to teach my interns. I
Mhm.
have to teach my pages. These babies have to see me because there has to be someone else to
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
We have term limits in the state of Oklahoma, so it does force us to relinquish our seat, but it also says we get to train up leadership.
Right.
We get to make sure those young leaders know what to do.
Right.
We should not be gatekeeping the leadership. When I got here, it was an anomaly to have such a young person, let alone a young person of color, let alone a female. You know,
Mhm.
our counterparts do it all the time with their
Right.
gangs.
Yes, they do.
Right.
They
But it
do.
was something
That's true.
different when I did it. And I'm just going to be honest, it was a struggle with the Black Caucus
Mhm.
to understand that I was here, that I had the same title as them, and that I had the same pay as
Right.
them.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
that took some getting used to, because in our community, a child is supposed to stay in their place.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
title didn't
That's
say I
it.
Yeah.
was a child.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and I was here to do the work that my community elected me to do. And I have been honored to continue to do that for the last 6 years, the last seven. I'm going into year 7.
Wow.
And it
Yeah.
feels kind of crazy
Yeah.
to be here, to be here in year 7, but I've just learned so much. And so that journey was really beating the pavement,
Mhm.
knocking doors, learning my community. But my community watched me grow up.
Yeah.
They knew I wasn't an outsider.
Mhm.
I am a descendant from the Tulsa Race Massacre. My great great grandfather, Abner Burnett, got a tip to get out because he was white passing.
Yeah.
He had grocery stores there. Well, then he fled to California, and then came back and opened a grocery store in my
Oh,
district, in
okay.
House
Mhm.
District 99.
Mhm.
And he had grocery stores throughout Black towns. And he ended up building the first 2-story house in our district. But a lot of the churches in our community, his name is on their deed,
Oh,
because
wow.
he used being white passing to be able to go to the bank and get loans for those
See?
Black
Wow. See
churches.
that?
See?
And
Mm,
so my legacy in our community
mm.
is generational. A lot of people often just attach me to my mom, but they don't understand that my great grandfather is a Jazz Hall of Fame musician in the
Hey.
Tulsa Jazz Hall of Fame,
Yes.
and he taught orchestra to Black kids in Black schools in
Yeah.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
My great uncle, Uncle Delbert Burnett, he was the principal of FD Moon
Mhm.
Middle School here. He
Wow.
also was a city councilman. So it wasn't just something that I woke up and saw my mom do. It was
Yeah.
something that our family has been leading in our community for generations. And so, some of my constituents knew me when I had braces.
Yeah.
And they knew me when I was a young girl, and they know that I have never left this community, and
Yeah.
that I did not leave to go do something else. I stayed here. I
Right.
worked. I grind,
Mhm.
and to be here every
Right.
day, we continue to not be comfortable in this seat. That's
Right.
what democracy is. We
Mhm.
continue to do the work of the people, and so I've been honored to make history time and time again, and just honored that the people give me the vote of confidence to continue to do that.
You know what? It's interesting that you say that because I hear you, you can regurgitate your family history.
Hmm.
And how is it important is it for kids to understand where they come
Yes.
from?
So important. I mean, I stand on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
I know who I am. Even when people try to tear you down
Mm-hmm.
and people try to diminish your light,
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to wake up and look in the mirror because I know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was very fortunate to have three sets of my great grandmothers living
Oh,
while I was
wow.
here. And
Yeah.
so I am also Seminole Native American. I have dual citizenship as a member of the Seminole Nation. I co-chair the Native American Caucus. I'm also the chairwoman of the Black Caucus currently. And so, oftentimes I remember one of my teachers told my mama, "Your baby don't know she Black." And my mama said, "What?
What?
What you mean?" And she said, "Well, she says she's Irish. She says she's Indian." And she said, "Well, she is."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, no, sister, she's Black." And she said, "Well, she has three great grandmothers.
Mm-hmm.
One is white. One is Native and lives in the house with her,
Mm-hmm.
and one is Black that she makes tea cakes with." And so you cannot tell her who she's not
That's right.
because she lives with these women. They
Mhm.
instill in her.
Mhm.
She goes to get ice cream with one of them every Friday.
Mhm.
And so I very much learned my history and my culture from those women
Mm-hmm.
who passed it down to me. My mom, who passed it down to my mom. My grandmother was one of those Native Americans who was bused to boarding schools, who was beat to not speak her native tongue
Oh, wow.
and went mute for a period of time. But when I got here, she started speaking it again.
Mhm.
And so she taught my mom. And so we can say Ishango. I am Havisi Mujesi. That
Mm.
means new moon.
Mhm.
I'm a part of the Dosa Barkas band and the Bird Clan of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma.
That is awesome.
It's
Yeah.
so important for our babies to know their history and know where they come from because I'm able to stand in the duality of both. I'm
Yeah.
able to lead for both people.
Mhm.
And whenever whoever comes behind me, I'm able to pass that strength.
Yeah.
Oftentimes people say, they give accolades to people who have broken glass ceilings,
Mhm.
but they don't realize you still got to heal from that because it's glass.
It's glass.
Right.
It's
You
glass.
bruise. You
Mhm.
little bruise. And
Yeah.
if we don't know our history, we can't deter from going through the same lessons that our predecessors went through.
That's right.
There's some lessons that our Black lawmakers learned that they can pass down to other
Mhm.
people. There's some lessons that they went through. There's lessons in the state. When we did Medicaid expansion again this past year, they were like, "Well, we've done that before and it failed." Well, now we get to learn from those mistakes
Mhm.
Right.
and we get to say, how can we do it better this go round?
Mhm.
And so it's so important for our babies. People don't know their culture, they don't know their history. And I think that's why Black Panther resonated with our community so
Right. Yeah.
much, is
Exactly.
because people don't have anything to hold on to know where their roots are. That all was stripped from us
Yeah.
in this country. But at the same time, we still have deep roots in this country.
Mhm.
Black people have done a lot of firsts. We're still doing a lot of firsts.
Right.
That's
But
right.
there's also seconds and thirds and fifths.
Right.
And
Right.
those people need to be honored and we need to share that as
Yeah.
well. We oftentimes are taught, as women,
Mm-hmm.
to be humble
Mm-hmm.
and to be meek
Mm-hmm.
and to not speak our truth. And I am diminishing that.
Mm-hmm.
If no one tells our story, then who's gonna know about us?
Exactly.
I wouldn't know about Vicky Miles LaGrange. I wouldn't know about Freddie Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know about Judy Easton McIntyre
Yeah.
if no one told those stories.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no, I'm no longer being humble.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
definitely standing
Yeah.
in my light and all of the ground that I stand on because someone has to know my story in order for me, in order for them to be able to come behind me and do more than what I've been able to do.
I
This is
love it.
amazing because
Like I could talk to her like all day.
I
Like
know.
all
You
day.
look like
Yeah,
y'all
I'm like, oh
people.
my
Family.
We
goodness.
was
Yeah.
eating ribs, y'all. Y'all don't know.
Y'all
We
don't
was
know.
eating ribs and hot link when Biden came to Tulsa for the
Hey,
centennial because we had to wait like 4 hours for them
Forever.
to
Yeah.
arrive. And
Yeah.
so these are my people. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not in Tulsa. I'm not a Tulsa
right.
rep.
It's the
You
family
know, like they
affair.
honorary,
Yeah.
they honorary constituents of House District
Exactly.
59 when they here.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I was to say, Representative AJ, you were the game changer for me when you were so young,
Yeah.
and we were family
Mhm.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is so heartfelt to see you now, 7 years later.
Ooh.
Just the growth, the maturity, the wisdom,
Yeah.
the way you can just roll with. You making our interview easy. You
I
appreciate
know, right?
that.
I'm like, you
But
gotta do
let
that.
me ask you,
Okay.
Tulsa
Tulsa.
descendant.
Mhm.
Today, the
Mhm.
first black mayor,
Yes.
Monroe Nichols, gives the keynote. How did that resonate with you with all of the history things you just spoke
I get
of?
chills talking about
I
it. My
know.
sleeves are down
Right.
because I don't think people understand how far we've come.
Man.
And I know we still, people are like, don't y'all feel like y'all have had enough? Or don't y'all feel like it's not that big of a deal? It's huge.
It is.
It's huge when we talk about just Black politics in general. The history we saw our vice president make.
Yes.
And we're not going to take that away from her. The history we saw our vice president make and the history Monroe has made, to see that 100 and plus years later says that we're moving forward.
Right.
I know reparations is a huge conversation, but a part of me feels like that's one of the reparations, right? Now he is in the position to make policy for all of Tulsa. Now he is in the position where Black kids in North Tulsa get to see him and know what the history is, and know what can be done. This is a new pathway for the future of Tulsa. And I'm just happy that we didn't get here by ourselves. Look, there was white people that voted for him.
That's right. That's right. Let's be clear.
We say that there was white people that voted for Obama. I tell my constituents all the time, it's 7 Black people here. When I get bills passed, that's white people. And that's Republicans. It's only 20 Democrats. Let's do the math. And so we don't want to diminish the allies that we have, but also the work that can be done. And so that is so monumentous to see him be able to do this work. Being the first is heavy.
Yes.
Being the first is heavy. And so I ask the people to give him grace as he makes his decisions. Everything you may not agree with, and that's okay, but we're not going to bash him. We're going to support him. We're going to have his back. And we're going to make sure that we are registering to vote so that we can keep him in office. Let's talk about that. We're going to make sure we donate to his campaign so that we can keep him in office. And we're going to make sure we volunteer for him so that we can keep him in office. Those things are so important too. Yes, you can see him on the news. Yes, you can take pictures and post pictures with him, but also get engaged with him. He's going to need boots on the ground. He's going to need support when he makes those hard decisions and those hard votes. Right now it's rosy because it's only been 100 days? It's rosy, peachy, it's glamorous. Everybody's loving it. But when those moments and he has to sit there and bear that weight in his office and bear those decisions, he needs to know that that community has his back and that we have his back too. And so I don't want people to misunderstand that not only is this a change in Tulsa, it's a change in the country. This is national recognition. And we have to make sure we carry this young man. And I say young, he older than me. But he's young.
Right, he is.
He's a young mayor. And so we carry him through his leadership and we carry him through his tenure on the backs of all of the people that paved the way for him to get there. And understanding that it's going to take momentum and it's going to take advocacy and it's going to take the people having unity to make sure he stays in that office.
Okay, I got to ask you to do one more time. One more thing, because I don't think nobody can do it better than you.
Okay, what's
so
up?
I'm going to ask you to check out the camera.
Yes.
Right, check out the camera. People are in fear right now. People are nervous. People don't know which way to turn. That's where we are right now. You know, Oklahoma and around this country. Somebody got to let the people know we're going to be all right.
We're going to be all right.
Can you look at them and tell the people, we know how it looks, but y'all look here. We're going to be all right. And this is what you can do to help us be all right.
That's real. And I want to acknowledge the fear. Sometimes, to your question, I can become numb to it because I'm in it every day.
Right.
And so you see the wins and you see the losses and you take the wins and you make them a little bit brighter. We gonna be all right. This is nothing that we have not been through before. Obviously, it has been generations since we've been through it. And as my grandma would say, we a little tender. So we're a little tender. We're not used to the fight that our ancestors were used to.
Right. That's true.
We are not used to the resiliency that our ancestors are used to. So we gonna have to tough up. As the Bible says, put on the whole armor of God.
Come on.
And we're going to have to take that armor and make sure we are getting involved, get engaged. I know a lot of people have been sitting on the sidelines because they say their vote doesn't matter. They say I don't have enough dollars to donate. I only have $5. Well, I can't use my hands and feet because I got arthritis or whatever that is. You can make phone calls. Your $5 matter. Register to vote. your vote counts. And that is the biggest thing. That's what we're seeing in our country.
Right.
Only 3% of the state of Oklahoma's voters, registered voters, vote. And so you only have 3% of all of the population in our state choosing who leads you, making the decisions for you. And that is why our country is the way that we are, because only so many people vote. And so your vote does matter. Your voice can be big and can be loud. And we need you to get engaged with us. My office number is 405-557-7393. My website is repajpittman.com. If you don't know who your elected official is, reach out to us. We'll help you figure out who they are. But you have to get in the fight. You know what I mean? You can't sit on the sidelines. You can't be scared and you scared money don't make money, right?
Okay, come on now.
You can't be scared and work. And when you work, you're not scared.
Yes,
because you're putting that fear into action. And so we have work to do. We got to get ready for 2026. It's already here.
Yeah.
Our gubernatorial election is coming for Oklahoma. We have to get ready. The midterm elections for the congressional members is coming. And so I know that people are struggling with their daily lives. Eggs is $27.
Man.
I bought some the other day,
Okay. It hurt, didn't it? It hurt. You like, Lord.
So I just implore you to get involved, get engaged, and we will be here to walk beside you along the way. Thank you so much for having me.
Listen, y'all, we went to school today. Do you hear me? We came in here for a small interview, but we ended up getting a wealth of knowledge. So this is your girl, Damali, right here with NYCU.FM and World One Developments News you can use. We are here with Representative Ajay Pittman on Black History at the Capitol. Yes.
And I'm Charles Hopper. We had a good time. Thank you for your time.
Yes.
And our little roses and flowers to you is that you could be anywhere in the world with your intelligence and what you can do and what you can offer. So thank you so much for staying in Oklahoma and being a blessing with us. We out, y'all. NYCU.FM. We're going to see y'all next time.